enthusiasts, my name is Christina and welcome to another Let's Get Reelz movie review. Today is Classic Movie Thursdays here on my channel, my version of Throwback Thursdays. Today's movie I will be discussing is My Man Godfrey from 1936, starring Carole Lombard and William Powell. The movie starts off with a man named Godfrey, played by William Powell. He is in this shanty town on the river of New York, right under one of the bridges, and he is approached by a woman named Cornelia Bullock, played by Gail Patrick, and Cornelia is looking for a forgotten man, which, if you're not familiar with, is a man who was homeless during the Depression, but mostly, I believe, is a man who fought in World War I and wasn't really getting paid by the government. I believe that's what it is. And she needs him for a contest, and it's like a scavenger hunt, and Godfrey pushes her into an ash pile. He's like, hell no, I'm not doing this. And then all of a sudden, Irene Bullock, played by Carole Lombard, if Cornelia's younger sister, comes up, and she's a lot nicer than Cornelia, and Godfrey's like, alright, I'll come with you. So Irene actually winds up winning the contest because she found a forgotten man and nobody else had. And Irene wants to pay him back and, let him live in a house, and so he doesn't have to live in his little shanty town. And she's like, why don't you become our butler? Now, Irene is really funny. She just talks and talks and talks and talks. She doesn't know when to be quiet. She usually just says whatever is on her mind, and she does it out of the goodness of her heart. Godfrey does not know what he's getting himself into. The Bullock family is absolutely nuts. Cornelia is probably one of the only ones with their head on straight. A little evil, but with their head on straight, and their father too. Their father is a big business owner. I think that's what he does, and he just does not like the way Irene and Cornelia are always going out and getting into trouble, and he's got to pay for it. And the wife is really strange. She's very all over the place, and she's trying to be like a patron to this musician, and he's just he's so weird, and the house is just a complete circus. But Godfrey tries and tries his hardest to remain neutral and to be the level-headed one, the completely sane one out of the entire family. Cornelia is still bitter about being thrown into the ash pile, so she tries to get Godfrey fired, but that doesn't work. And then Godfrey outsmarts her in her plan to get him fired. And eventually Godfrey actually comes to own his own restaurant where all the men in the shantytown come to work. And you find a few things out about Godfrey, where he's from, what led him to go live in the shantytown and become a forgotten man. And you see that Irene is just absolutely madly in love with Godfrey. This whole movie is absolutely hysterical. Carole Lombard was such a friggin' genius with her acting. I love her so much in this movie. This is where I feel like you can really see that she was definitely a screwball comedian. She was perfect in Screwball Comedies. And Irene Bullock was just such a good character. She was the right person to play this character, and I can't see anyone else but Carole Lombard playing Irene Bullock. And Godfrey, is there any other man in this world that could just pull off being a butler, being just a sophisticated, level-headed person than William Powell? Again, William Powell is just such a gentleman. He's so perfect. Nobody else could have been in this role but him. I liked him and Carole Lombard together so much, and for those of you who may not know, a little trivia here, Carole Lombard and William Powell were once married to each other, and I believe by this time they had been divorced, but they still made this movie together, and they had great chemistry, and I love them together. This is a great screen partnership and a great movie for the two of them to be in. And the whole cast of characters and actors are really good in this. I love Gail Patrick. I think she's very underrated. I've seen her in some other films where she was actually the main actress in it, and I always liked how she played the kind of like seething evil woman and who has ulterior motives, but she was just so good, and you can see why she was typecasted in those roles, which is kind of unfortunate. But there was one movie, and I unfortunately forget what the name of it is called, but Gail Patrick was a very nice person in it, and she was so good. I really like her as an actress. So if you haven't seen My Man Godfrey, do yourself a gigantic favor and go and watch it. Go find it somewhere and watch it and enjoy it. It is one of the greatest classic comedy movies, one of the best screwball comedies you'll ever see. It'll make you wish that there were comedies that were like this, where they're funny but not over the top funny, and they're sophisticated but not over the top sophisticated. It's like the perfect marriage of sophistication and comedy. It really makes me sad that there's no movies like this today. It's either like raunchy humor or pure like slapstick stupid comedy. It's just like, it doesn't make you think anymore. You know, there's so many good lines in this too. My favorite one is when Godfrey throws Irene in the shower because she was just being a pain, and then she jumps out, she's all excited, her mother's like, what's going on, and Irene goes, Godfrey, put me in the shower. Like, she's so excited and she starts jumping around like crazy. You're just not gonna find scenes like that. You're not gonna find any lines like that anymore. You're just not gonna find a movie like My Man Godfrey and movies in the vein of My Man Godfrey anymore, and that's such a shame. I really all hope you guys go and watch this if you haven't seen it. That was my review of My Man Godfrey. If you like this review in any way, please give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments down below if you have seen My Man Godfrey, and we can discuss whatever you want. We can just William Powell, Carol Lombard, Gail Patrick, whatever. Leave your favorite lines if you have seen this, your favorite scenes, whatever. And also in the comments if you have any suggestions of what I should watch, be them classic movies or not. Leave them there, and if I pick your movie and I watch it and I review it, I will give you a shout out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for future Classic Movie Thursdays and other Let's Get Reelz movie reviews, because that is what I like to do here. And as always, keep watching movies and stay absolutely fabulous.